This is Tom Fox. I'd like to welcome you to the newest addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
In compliance, the value of anonymous reporting is undeniable. But with Ethico, anonymity doesn't mean a loss of connection. Our blinded, two-way communication fosters an environment of trust and confidentiality, encouraging open and honest dialogue. It's not just about receiving reports. It's about understanding the story behind each one, creating a culture of integrity and respect. Transform your approach to anonymous reporting with Ethico. Begin your journey at ethico.com/CPN, where you can book a demo, access an exclusive white paper by Tom Fox titled The ROI of Compliance, and utilize our free ROI calculator.
Today on the Compliance Tip of the Day, I'm going to ask you to think about a strategy for compliance communication that you may not have considered, and that's your supply chain. How can a CCO or a compliance function use 360-degree communications with compliance stakeholders who are external to your organization? I would first note that the COSO framework on internal controls mandates a look at your external communications. So clearly, COSO thinks it's important for you to have those types of communication around compliance. And obviously, the communications with your third parties about your compliance evaluation is critical for your compliance program success. But what about dealing with third parties, and how can they be a tool to do more than simply adherence to your compliance program, but provide you valuable feedback about modeling your compliance program going forward? Well, think about the perspective of what a third party will bring. It's universally recognized that third parties are your highest compliance risk. What if you could turn your supply chain from a liability under the FCPA, or at least a potential liability, into an area that brings innovation to your compliance program? This is an area that not many compliance professionals have mined. And in the article, the 5 key components for supply chain innovation, it says there are 5 steps to a successful innovation for your compliance program. Number 1, don't settle for the status quo. Innovation doesn't come from a customer, or it requires cooperation, proactivity, and increments. Hit the road and use metrics. Data. Send prospectors, not auditors. While an audit clause is critical in any contract, how about thinking about that phase or that part of your program to determine the synergies where business partners can work together? Show and tell, trust. Even in the supply chain arena, trust is critical. And then who's running the show? This means each side brings something to a relationship. So it can enhance trust. It can bring you more information. You can see what your partners need to succeed from the compliance perspective, and it can be an incredibly effective, low-cost, low-risk way for you to garner more information for your compliance program going forward. This month's sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, including this podcast, is Ethico. Have you ever wondered about the ROI of your compliance program, or had concerns with presenting budget proposals to your CFO? Well, I partnered with Ethico to write a white paper on the ROI of compliance and how you can think through compliance as an investment strategy. Ethico has put together a ROI calculator for you. Check them out on the website. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The compliance tip of the day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network.